This is very close now. This is a very winnable round for Kakadu. And the level 2 in reaction, is that going to work? He parries and he gets the punish. He dashes in. Oh, the overhead reset. He thinks combo. Left and rip. The level 1 cleans it up.
Hello everybody, welcome to a special edition of Reversal Roundup EVO 2023. We have some legendary matches for the record books, as well as some records being broken themselves. Let's jump into all of the action from the past weekend. Starting things off, we have GranBlue Fantasy vs. Rising. With a new game right on the horizon, what better way than to kick it off with a pre-release tournament at EVO. Boo and Gamera brought the heat, with Boo forcing a reset in the grand finals, but in the end, it was Gamera taking the tournament, winning another golden arcade stick in the first pre-release GranBlue Fantasy vs. Rising tournament at EVO. It's exciting to think about what the competition is going to look like next year with the game fully available. Up next, with 451 combatants, we've got Mortal Kombat 11 in its final time up on the EVO main stage. With a new game just a few weeks away, there's a lot of players looking to make their mark in the final moments of MK11 at this last EVO tournament. On the winner's side, the brothers duke it out in a way that they always do, the mirror match. Johnny Cage versus Johnny Cage, with the winner of this advancing to grand finals. Nicholas takes a quick first game over the EVO champ, and they continue to play out the Cage mirror without switching. In a perplexing yet perfectly fitting battle between siblings, they each trade off against Johnny Cage's signature nut punch back and forth, rapidly trying to take the upper hand and control the match in a very scrappy showing. Scorpion Prox takes the next game, Nicholas takes the game after, as well as the final one. This year, Nicholas will be in grand finals, and he will send his brother, the former EVO champ, down to swim through the loser's bracket. The next match up is the two MK vets, Foxy Grandpa versus Ninja Killa. Foxy switches characters yet again, going with Sub-Zero, while Ninja Killa stays steady on his Fujin. Despite a number of absolute Sub-Zero brand robbery situations by Foxy, Ninja Killa takes a decisive win over Foxy with a 3-1, eliminating him from the tournament. Now there are two individuals left standing between Ninja Killa and taking home an EVO championship, the Chilean brothers. Many have wanted to see Ninja Killa go up against the brothers, and they have existed at different points in the competitive history of Mortal Kombat, but the stage could not be more perfectly set, and we get right into the Fujin mirror match. After a tense, slow back and forth, and in dominant fashion, Ninja Killa seems to have Scorpion Prox completely figured out and nearly takes a flawless victory to defeat the former EVO champion. The only thing now standing between him and the trophy is the other brother, Nicholas versus Ninja Killa in grand finals. In this run back from earlier on, Ninja Killa is dominant and quickly 3-0s Nicholas to reset the bracket. With a crazy set of punishes and an absolute insane reaction, Ninja Killa goes up game 1. Nicholas is not going to go down easy though. After that 3-0 reset, he rallies back. Now, if you've already guessed, it's going to go down to the final round in the final game. Both players playing Fujin at the absolute highest level.
And that's going to be it! The breakaway is used!
But it comes down to Ninja Killa scoring the last finish and taking EVO 2023 for Mortal Kombat 11. Moving on, we've got Melty Blood Type Lumina with 552 entrants in the strongest international competition Melty Blood has ever seen. Last year's EVO champion Jing had trouble with his flight and barely made it to the tournament on time. Nevertheless, he showed why he made the previous tournament and making it to top 6. His fellow countrymen Moai and Dai both made it to winners finals, beating Scrot Vermillion and Korean Wrestling Man respectively on their way there. In the winners finals, it was a showdown between Japan's two best Roa players, with Moai proving that he was the strongest as he took Dai down 3-1. On the loser side, America's Scrot V had to face Jing, the opponent he wanted to beat the most. But it was not meant to be, as Jing 2-0'd him with a solid performance. And with that, America's last hope was taken down. Or was it? An unexpected face appeared in Jing's path to the losers finals. Jimmy J. Tran, the Tekken Brian Fury main, had already met Jing in pools and lost a quick 2-0. but showing adaptations, it went all the way to the last game, last round.
We've got the moondrive, the tech on the throw. Jimmy getting it with the overhead. He's trying everything he can.
You have to beware EX Ladle though. EX Ladle's this is a haymaker.
Oh my gosh.
Unblockable! Jimmy take credit!
And with an incredible air unblockable setup, took down the former EVO champion. That would mean this year's would have a new champion. But before Jimmy could challenge Mawai, he would have to go through Dai in the losers finals. Jimmy showed off an incredible defensive play and neutral, but Dai was simply too strong and took America's final hope down 3-1. And with that, the grand finals was set, a repeat of winners finals, Mawai and Dai. Mawai took the first 2 games in a convincing fashion. Dai tried to stop the momentum Mawai had built, but after a well-timed Moon skill DP, he took down his final opponent and earned himself the EVO 2023 Melty Blood type Lumina trophy.
He's not respecting. He's not your...
Now let's round up the King of Fighters 15. It had an excellent and excited, enthusiastic crowd all the way through the competition in top 6. The grand finals was an incredible show between ET and the legend himself, Zhao Hai. This match came down to both players in a Cronin mirror match in back-to-back rounds, giving the crowd every single thing that they came for. But as it came down to Game 5, Zhao Hai's ice-cold determination kicks in, and he took the final round, winning EVO 2023 for the King of Fighters. With 841 entrants, Dragon Ball FighterZ just barely misses making the Sunday show, but that did not stop the players from giving us an incredible performance. The top 6 was dominated by America, with 4 Americans on the winner's side and 2 Europeans on the loser's side. In the first winner's semis, Nitro faced off against the unconventional team of Garlic Bread, and even though Garlic Bread blocked all of Android 18's level 3 mix-ups, the last one was the one that he did not block, and he fell to Nitro. On the other side of winter finals, the 2 players who have improved the most over the last year met, Kite versus Hikari. Hikari played the first game strong with a 2-character lead, but Kite's immaculate defense and reactions earned him a happy birthday to bring it close to an anchor versus anchor game. Running out of patience, however, he challenged Vegito's pressure at the wrong moment, and Hikari took game number 1. After Hikari's game plan went completely in his favor, and he won the set 2-0. Waiting for Kite in the loser's bracket was Gropis, the winner of this year's Road to EVO qualifier event, who showed off exactly why he is at this tournament, 2-0ing Kite with a strong showing. But this loser's bracket was really Yasha's story. The French warrior lost to Adrian Riven early and had to go on an incredible loser's run, going through such players as Shanks, Zane, KJ Pixel, all to earn his place in the top 6. After getting a convincing win over Garlic Bread 2-0, he went on to face Gropis in the clash of the European Titans, France versus Spain. But in the end, Yasha was simply too strong and took it 2-0 over the young Spanish talent. Back to the winner's side, it was Nitro versus Hikari in the winner's final. Nitro gets a quick 2-0, but that's when Hikari is at his best. He tied it up 2-2, losing only a single character in either game. It all came down to Nitro's Gohan, but using his assist, Hikari baited Gohan's anti-air and punished it to reverse sweep Nitro and earned the spot in grand finals on the winner's side, while Nitro went down to face Yasha in the loser's finals. Last year, these two met at EVO. Nitro won with a reverse sweep, so the odds were stacked against the invader from France. However, this time, when Yasha was up 2-0, he did not stop and completely swept Nitro to go on to the grand finals. And what a grand finals it was. Yasha looked unstoppable going up 2-0. But just like in winners finals, this is when Hikari turns Super Saiyan. 2 very strong games from Hikari brought the grand finals to a game number 5. Will Yasha turn Super Saiyan as well and reset the bracket? Or will Hikari take the trophy? Hikari's immaculate offense brought Yasha down to 1 character. Trying to turn things around, Yasha tried to get Hikari's head with a super dash bait.
Doesn't want to overcome!
The reaction! He's not gonna allow this! No!
The risk of following the level 3 was too big, and Hikari punished Yasha to become the Dragon Ball FighterZ EVO 2023 champion, and having his wish granted by the 1-star Dragon Ball to qualify for the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour Finals. What a way to open up the World Tour for Hikari.
Oh, it's looking real scary here. Lariat in the corner.
Now let's round up the game that may never die. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, with 1,346 players, sets an all-time record for Marvel at EVO. And on top of that, we've got a top 6 mostly dominated by the United States. Starting us off, we've got King Blue River versus Liberal Terminator. They trade blows, but King takes the match in a decisive 3-2. Next up is Jabril against Evasion, cleanly taking the set in a 3-0, and following up those fast rounds, we've got Liberal Terminator pushing Spartan Throne back with an impressive team, but Spartan got the chance to show us just why he has Iron Fist on his roster, nearly making a heroic comeback. But Liberal Terminator fires back and eliminates Spartan Throne from the tournament. Next, we move on to Evasion versus Mundane, who is eliminated 3-1. Following that, we've got Kane Blue River going up against Jabril. Kane takes game 1, but Jabril takes the second game, tying it up. But Jabril comes back and perfects Kane and advances into the grand finals. Which brings us to losers semis. Evasion versus Liberal Terminator. Like a lot of matches in this top 6, Evasion eliminates Terminator in an astounding 3-0 and moves on to losers finals against Kane Blue River. With this being Evasion's first EVO, you may have thought he had a certain level of jitters, and if he did, it never showed. He takes down Kane in an absolutely dominant 3-0, moving on to grand finals to take on Jabril in a Zero May Cry mirror match. But this was Jabril's tournament to win. Without dropping a single game, Jabril takes the grand finals from winner's side 3-0 and is the EVO 2023 Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom champion. On now to Tekken 7 with 1,580 entrants and potentially the final year at EVO with Tekken 7. This would be one for the history books. We start off on the winner's side and have Ulsan from Korea with his Bob up against Arslan Ash from Pakistan playing Kunimitsu. Arslan takes the first matchup 2-1 and sends Ulsan to losers. Up next on the winner's side, we have Genghis Dan from the United States up against Ao from Korea. Genghis' Katarina put Ao on the defensive with his crazy comeback, but Ao wins the set, moving on to winners finals. Over on the loser's side, we've got Anakin's Jack scoring up against Ulsan. Anakin ties up the set 1-1, but Ulsan surges through and takes the match, eliminating Anakin from the tournament. Next up on the loser's side, Genghis versus Mayo Ill. Genghis starts off with a red-hot start, taking the first game with a no-round brown. Genghis cannot be stopped, eliminating Mayo, where he takes 5th place again this year at EVO, the same position as last year. Now, things are going to start heating up. We've got Arslan versus Ao, the run back from Tekken World Tour, where Ao eliminated Arslan in pools. This time, things would be different, as Arslan sends Ao to losers and moves on himself to grand finals, but the story does not end there, and we'll come back to that. Back on the loser side, Genghis taking on Ulsan. They trade games back and forth, but in the end, Ulsan prevails and sends the last USA representative home. Back over on the loser side, Ao takes on Ulsan and defeats him in a very close set, and the story continues. The run back is set up. Arslan and Ao in the grand finals. In the most dominant fashion that we've seen in this mirror match, Arslan doesn't give Ao a break, and he cleanly runs through, defeating Ao 3-0, picking up his 4th EVO Tekken 7 championship. Moving on to Guilty Gear Strive, coming in with an insane 2,481 entrants. Guilty Gear has even more attendees this year than compared to the last year's EVO. We start things off on the winner's side with our first match, with Daru Inu from Korea playing his signature Ino up against Nubenheimer from the US playing Nagoriyuki. And Daru sends him into losers with a pop-off to put the cherry on top and moves into winners finals. Now, over on the other side of winners, we've got Tiurara's Kai up against Leffen's Happy Chaos. Tiurara proved to be no match for Leffen's domination and is dispatched 3-0, sending Tiurara into losers, and Leffen moves into winners finals. Over on the loser side, we've got Nubenheimer looking to turn around his top 6 run, taking on Verex from Senegal. This is his first EVO appearance, and he's off to a great start, making the top 6 showing. Despite a strong showing, Nubenheimer makes short work of the Nago mirror and eliminates Verex 3-0. Up next is last year's EVO champ, Umisho, and she's playing Soul Bad Guy this time, and not the Happy Chaos that we saw her use last year. Umisho takes a rapid 2-0 lead, and despite an attempted comeback, Diarara is eliminated from the tournament in another 3-0 defeat. Now, it's time for winners finals. Daru Ino versus Leffen. Starting off with a very strong showing, Leffen goes up 2-0, but Daru rallies back, taking a clutch comeback, proving that he's still in the game. But it's not enough this time around. Leffen moves into match point and takes the set, securing himself a higher placement than last year and advancing into winners finals. We've got the two remaining players from the US pitted up against each other, Umisho versus Neubenheimer. In a shockingly dominant display, Neubenheimer eliminates the former EVO champ and sends Umisho home in 4th place with a strong 3-0 victory. Which brings us into losers finals. Daru Ino versus Neubenheimer, the run back from earlier in the top 6, but that 3-1 was still fresh in Neubenheimer's mind, and despite a clutch comeback from Daru, Neubenheimer finishes him off with another 3-1 in the other direction to advance into grand finals and take on none other than Leffen himself. Leffen was on an absolute mission this year and starts things off with a double perfect to show for the crowd and take the first game, and it didn't stop there. There would be no reset or even a single game taken by Neubenheimer in grand finals. Leffen wakes up with buttons and locks it in as the new EVO 2023 champion for Guilty Gear, and is now in a very exclusive club of multi-game EVO winners.
Oh no, trying to jump out, maybe a blockable.
Moving on to the main event, Street Fighter 6 has over 7,000 entrants at EVO 2023, not just breaking previous EVO records by more than 2,000, but also breaking open entry tournament records as a whole. Mandalay Bay was sold out for the event with a buzz surrounding the game and the FGC at an all-time high. And if that wasn't enough, the top 6 is stacked with some of the talent from Street Fighter, both the new generation and the legends of games past as well. Jumping into the first match, we have Angry Birds Ken up against Kakeru's JP, and Kakeru slowly works through the pressure from Angry Birds Ken and manages to set up a chip-out win. But Angry Bird rallies back, and Kakeru lands a big combo to make it 2-2.
That's a big one here. He is in CA range. I think he might. This is enough, I think.
This might kill, survey says.
Will it be on the show? We'll have to find out, but he's in the yellow, I think. So... wow. It's enough.
Angry Bird drops a massive game-winning combo, but manages to take the round anyway, sending Kakeru to losers. Next up, we've got Punk's Cammy versus Haitani's modern Chun-Li. With all the talk about modern controls, none of that seems to affect Haitani's ability to make it into the top 6, although Punk goes up swiftly 2-0 over Haitani, and despite working on a comeback, Punk takes the match 3-0 and advances to winners finals. Next up on the loser side of the bracket, we've got Tokido versus Kakeru. Kakeru has just warmed up against Angry Birds Ken moments before and takes a perfect round to tie the match 1-1. Tokido would not be outdone and makes an absolutely insane comeback.
He dashes in. Oh, the overhead reset. It's his combo. No! The level 1 cleans it up, and he stays alive in the loser's bracket.
Moving on, we've got Haitani up against Mena RD's Luke. Not giving him a chance to even mount a comeback, Mena RD takes a decisive 3-0, eliminating Haitani from the tournament. Back over on the winner's side, we've got Punk up against Angry Bird. Up to this point, he has run through 7,000 men without a single tournament loss. But all that would change when he meets up with Angry Bird. Punk would not be put down so easily though, and the set is tied at 2-2. But when Angry Bird is dominant in a match of aggressors, even against Punk's Cammy, and moves on to grand finals. The next match is one for the record books, Mena RD versus Tokido. These two are no strangers and met in the grand finals of the Capcom Pro Tour 2017, where Mena emerged the victor. With the storied history between them, they play it up for the crowd with an epic stare down before jumping into the match. They trade games back and forth throughout the entire set, but Tokido ties things up at 2-2, and then even moving into match point against Mena.
It's all 2 in 1 round. Uh-oh, plus frames.
But Mena delivers a comeback and eliminates Tokido from the tournament in a grand fashion, and now we've got Punk taking on Mena RD. Punk goes all out with the rushdown and takes a quick 2-0 over Mena, but this is EVO. This is Mena RD, so of course he puts on an absolute show and ties it up 2-2 with an absolutely ludicrous comeback. Punk takes then to set point, but Mena bullies his way through and eliminates Punk in a stunning show, moving into grand finals. Angry Bird and Mena. The two of them share an embrace before sitting down for the pinnacle match of the entire weekend. Angry Bird has a dominant performance and moves into tournament point very early in the set, very quickly, but that wasn't in the cards.
Either of them here. He does a challenge, he baits the throw. Mena with the hit, the perfect knuckle inside. Now we've got a reset.
Angry Bird, yet again, moves in to take the lead up at 2-1 over Mena, but Mena crafts an absolutely insane comeback from the Magic Pixel.
Overhead, string overhead, 100%. I feel it in my bones.
Oh, level 2. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Is this enough?
To come back and tie it up 2-2. Both players take a round, and now it's tournament point for both of them. The final round is sheer brilliance of Street Fighter 6 gameplay up to this point.
Yes, for Mena of the tournament. Trade. Goes to the knuckle. It doesn't reach it. That'll do it.
But Angry Bird was a man on a mission, and he takes the final round, winning the tournament, hoisting the trophy, and is the Evolution 2023 Street Fighter 6 winner.
Angry Bird, your Street Fighter 6 Evolution 2023 champion.
And that does it for our special edition of Reversal Roundup. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, be sure to click the link below and stay tuned for all of the content coming from us at Reversal.